Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. So, we continue with our ethical hacking series where we're talking about ethical hacking's tools, methodology, and a perspective that you can really participate in real world scenarios. And of course, we have just started this series, and this is the second video. So, we are trying to build it up slowly but sure. So, today we are going to have an overview of our installed penetration testing platform, which is Kali Linux. And of course, we are going to see next from other videos where now we're really starting to build skills from here onwards. So actually, the first thing that I want us to do is at least to change the password because we know the installation use the default username carry and the password carry. Of course, it's better even for you to change the name and of course to disable that account because remember, we are cybersecurity experts. We're going to have a system that the username and the password is available online. And this is what we should take in mind because we may be very good at learning things, but if we can't put them into practice, even the literal one like this one, it creates a behavior for us to ignore even when it's come to serious terms. So for now, at least we should change the password. Then we click this, okay, I was fast. You click this shell screen where you have a command prompt. And of course, here is what we are going to do most of our tasks. Even the tools, though they have a graphical user menu link, but wherever you choose them, they bring you here. So for those guys who have not familiarized themselves with Linux, please, you should start doing that. And of course, there are these very little command to navigate, to learn some script, to use the editors like VS and what we're not going to cover them here for real. So you can just having a colleague to help you. And of course, as usual, if you're stuck, you can WhatsApp us at the bottom light screen number. We can guide you for the videos and of course for the straightforward ways to learn those stuffs. So for now, at least we should change the password that we use. So we use this command sudo password for the username carry. Then we need to put now the administrator password because this needs administrator privilege. Then we put the new password that we want to be used. Now you put yours. Here I'm putting mine. So at least our instance does not have those username and password worldwide known. There we are. So we have changed it. And of course, to test that we have changed it, we need at least to log out and log in again to see that effect. Kali, then using the new password. There we are. So that's it. At least we have done that. Of course, you can go a step further to change the username, and there are so many, a lot of stuff that you can do about it. But today, as I said, I just want to cover the overview of this operating system. And that overview is not that deeper because I said from the next video now we are going to start building up the real skills and tools that we need. But we shouldn't take for granted this information that we are giving in this beginning session. So this is the Kali Linux. Of course, it's a Debian-based distribution. So even if you want to install packages that are not from Kali Linux, for instance, those from Ubuntu, you can include even those in the apt source list. You can include the Ubuntu distribution downloads apt source list into Kali and of course doing the downloading because they are both Debian based distribution. And of course, if you want to see the kind of tools that are all available, you can just click this menu icon. Of course, this one takes you to home. No, this is what to minimize. This one is the one that takes you to home directory where you can open folder and what that is there. You can navigate. This is just the editor that you can use. Of course, the rest are same. And here is the one that takes you to all available menu items. So the favorite as usual, I don't need to interpret this, it's straightforward. So as the reasons. And of course, the all application, it gives you the whole application without categorize them. Settings, all those stuffs are straightforward. You can just do it as yourself. And these are the application that you deals with visual, multimedia, graphics, and so and so. Now, the one that I was focused with are these tools here, because these are the one that in one way or another we are going to interact with them during our series. Of course, we will also add some tools. As we said in the first video, there is no one distribution that have all tools. And those distribution, each of them, they have built-in tools, a lot of them that you rarely going to use. So one of the things that you are going to use as a ethical hacker, you will have a time to customize your distribution to include tools that make sense for you and of course those that do not make sense, you can just leave them. So this one, the good thing about this user interface, they have categorize them so you just know it's straightforward. Like information gathering, you all have all these tools, so you are going to see from all these tools, maybe you are going to know that only one or two of them, they make the most of what you need, so you don't need to cover all of them, as we are going to see in the series. So are things the vulnerability analysis, web application, and you can see some tools exist in both, I mean in more than one category. For instance, in information gathering, we have a tool here, nmap. Here it is, nmap, in information gathering. And vulnerability assessment, also nmap. So that also means these tools are not like a rule of thumb. Like if it is used for vulnerability assessment, then you cannot use for like exploitation. It depends on the robustness of the tools and the facilities and functions that it was defined for. So that shouldn't confuse you. Yeah, so those for vulnerability assessment and so and so. I don't need to retraverse each one in one. For instance, here for web application, we have like BAP suites and what, and BAP suite is common and I've used it. But for me, I really preferred ZAP more than BAP suite, and I have some reason, a lot of reason, commercial, and of course even the functional wise reason for it. And I will explain to it when we come to use this for web application analysis. That's why I say there is no one distribution that has all tools for you. And some of the tools that are there, for some of you, they are going to be not necessary, as I just give you the example. So for database assessment, you see them, password attacks, where you are going to crack password to manipulate hash, and what the wireless attack, where we are doing the same to retrieve, I mean, password for wireless WAP and web and whatever. That is where we are going to focus. Reverse engineering, if you have a kind of code and you want to break it, then you take it from the executable to its object level, and then you are going to analyze it so that you know where to test and where to do. Of course, that is the very higher level of penetration testing or ethical hacking. And the tools for Kali Linux are there, as they are expression tools. So you see them, sniffing tools and post expression, forensics. Yeah, we are not going to cover forensic in this source. Maybe later we will cover it, but in this series we are not going to cover forensics. And then reporting tools, and of course this also should be your second friend, because I know most of the guys think that the only thing they need to do is just to be savvy in hacking. But if you are hacking and you are not documenting what you are seeing, what you have gathered, and what you are observing, at the end of the day is you cannot have a tangible output of what you have done so far. So even reporting tools are that important. So the cherry tree is the most common for many, but for me, Matego is the best. Not just for reporting, even for information gathering, especially if you can afford the paid version. Yeah, so that's the social engineerings, and of course, these are the rings for Kali Linux. So I just wanted to give you the overview of this. Now, in the next video, the approach that we found that is the best, because at first we thought maybe we should covering tools stage by stage. We start with information gathering, covering the tools, but of course there are many and we cannot cover them all. So of course, even the coverage is going to be of the tools that we know they are much useful based on experience, not only of mine, but also of my colleague and the project that we have done so far. But we found the best way that we need to go with this series is in the next video, we are going to demonstrate, meaning to implement all the stages from, of course, from pre-engagement, which we are not going to cover because it's all about contract, but I'm talking about from information gathering, the information that you have received from pre-engagement in the contract and the description and the scope of the work. Then when you are going to information gathering, doing exploitation and post-exploitation and analysis, reporting and everything. And this next video is not going to talk more about the tools, but it's going to talk more on the stage, but by demonstration. What it means, after we make sure that each one of us understand those stages practically by seeing what each stage, I mean, how each stage is executed, of course, in a high level view, but it's going to be a real scenario where we hack a certain box, we get the access shell, then we escalate ourselves, we take evidence and doing a report. But we are not going to explain every tool that we are going to use in that next video, because the aim is to explain and to demonstrate the stages, so that if we are aware of the stage and we are conversant, each one of us, then from there onwards, we are no longer going to focus on the stages, but we are going now to focus on the tools, and then we are going to deep on those tools and to tell you where, at what stage these tools can be useful. But we are no longer going to talk about the stages as many of people are doing. So that is the focus that we have adopted in this series, so that we focus more on being more productive than focusing on 1 week or 3 weeks on just information gathering tools. We cover in tools as we see fit, and even when we have emergent issues, then we are going to cover them as they are. So that's it for today. But please, if you know someone who is interested in these cyber security things, ethical hacking, this is the series. We have the one for security operation analysis in the same channel. You can see it, the fundamental one. So don't be mean as we are sharing this skill. So even you, what you can do, you can first subscribe to this channel so that it grows. But second, tell your neighbor about what we are covering here. And whenever you have an issue, use the WhatsApp number at the bottom right of this screen so that we can help each other. Have a nice day.